Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Touring Australia. Sorry it's a bit windy out here, just wanted to quickly show you the set of solar panels we've got set up out here in the sun. At the moment we've got sun, there's a little bit of cloud around, but a little bit patchy, but mainly full sun, and it's winter. So it's not the kind of sun that makes your panels get really hot. And the reason I mention that is because we suspect that when they get really hot, some of these panels cut out, or when they're used with certain regulators. This is certainly not a plug for the Kings brand. I'm not a big fan, although they are cheap and they do work most of the time. What I wanted to show you was we've got an Anderson plug there connecting to a decent quality wire, the one that comes out of their solar panels. Here, it's not the best quality. I don't know if you can see the size of it there, pretty small. You can see decent 50 amp wire out the other side. That's what we've used for our extension we made up. Let's go inside and have a look what we've got running in here. Okay, so we've got the 120 here. I'll just show you the back quickly. The charge voltage, when it focuses, as you can see, 14.9. They're very accurate. That voltage there is the electrical circuit at the back of the 120, right? Of course, there's a wire that runs to the front. So let's go to the front, trying to explain this to you the least confusing way. Alright, so at the front of the 120, we've got one of these type regulators that came with the solar panels, and that's how it was all sort of knocked around and scratched and stuff like that. I don't think it affects how well it works or not. It just looks average quality, and I don't know how good they work or not, but at the moment it's pumping. And this is what we find in winter. In the winter times of the year, when we've got the full sun, usually it'll put in some decent voltage, but there's been other times, and I've got other videos where it's like June, July, we've got full sun shining, the sun's on an angle, we've got a slight hill facing towards the sun, and we can't get it to go outside around the 13 volts, 13.2, 3, down to 12.8, up and down, not much happening. I completely don't understand it. We did have some issues with some of these. Again, you can see the quality of the wire they use, right? Look how small that is. Now getting pulled in and out on plugs, I don't know how durable that's going to be over time. Doesn't look exciting to me. We'll compare some more wires in a minute. But this is certainly one of the plugs. Yep, that is a plug that came with it. This regulator came with it, and this extension certainly did come with it. That's right. Just making sure I got my facts right. Couple of things that happened, I'll just tell you quickly. Inside one of these wires, it was broken, brand new. So when factory obviously fitted off the Anderson plug, the pin, the terminal there, the machine that twisted and pulled and whatever and put it in there to do the crimping, or machine or person, whatever it was, obviously pulled and stretched the wire too much, broke the wire. There was no connection there whatsoever. So once we worked that sort of stuff out and cut it off and reconnected new Anderson plugs and stuff, it was better. And we also found in the end of one of the plugs, which I can't show at the moment because they're plugged in, but in the end of one of them, I'm not sure if it was on the regulator or on this end, or there's many there, one of the pins was fitted 180 degrees out, so it wasn't making a good connection either. So that could have been some of the problems, but we've certainly had problems since then. I just want to show you, still pumping the voltage in, so that's good. That's pumping this battery only, this blue battery. But that being said, I can manually, as I've demonstrated before, use my REDARC SBI12, and I'll just disconnect that again. It'll stay connected when the light's on, based on the voltage getting thrown from this battery by being connected on this large cable that comes around here. We'll keep this battery voltage up above the cutout point, because this is this voltage sensing battery that decides when this relay connects and disconnects. So if we get some sun, right, if the sun goes behind the cloud at the same time as, say, the fridge in the back of this car, the compressor cuts in, it's going to pull the batteries down under the voltage, and this is going to disconnect, and that red light's going to go off, right? It's cloudy at the moment, I'll say, so let's see what happens. Now let's go for a wander over to the other vehicle. You can see, cloudy, down to 13.3. I'd expect that, that's fine, 13.6 even. Still cloudy, oh, see, it's just that hazy kind of in and out type cloud. Even up to 14.2, you know, it's sort of in and out of the cloud, so that's good. I consider this working as per normal what solar panels should. Let's follow this lead from the front of the 120. That's the lead they supply, cheap lead. This is now another extension, so they're about 5 meters each. This extension better quality wire to a plug, and then to my double adapter. Doesn't really matter, it's getting a bit technical, but basically I've made a double adapter out of 50 amp wire. You saw outside that roller door just before, so it comes in, bang, and doubles back this way. So that one off that double adapter is the one we just saw going to the 120 on the right. And this wire here on the left, not the best quality wire. That's another 10 meter extension that came with the King solar panels. Now let's just take a peek in the back of this vehicle at its voltage. And it's 13.7, and as I said, they are quite accurate, that voltage there. Let's go on with a fridge running. Both vehicles have both got a fridge in the back with stuff in them, with the temperature set on about 0. So we're going to come around here. You can see we've got the Projecta DC DC charger in place, and that's our solar connection there. Once again, you can see the size of the wires we use versus the wires they use, and I'd suggest these ones here, they're a little bit better. The 10 meter extension, they're a little bit better than some of the ones over there that we were looking at before, right? So basically, of course, this is one thing I wanted to show you. So pros and cons, right? There's pros and cons of everything, every setup, right? Now with this one, if this battery goes flat, if you leave the light on, let's just go and take a look for a minute, for example, right? See, interior lights on, isn't it? Right? So slowly, over an hour or two, it's going to drain this battery. Got the doors open, interior light on. Let's just say this battery is less than a year old. It's in really good condition. Let's say you've got one that's 3 or 4 years old. It's towards the end of its life. You don't know how long you got there, and then you get a cold morning. You got to start the car, or it ends up being a light stays on all night. Not so good. So what do you want to do? Chances are, if you've got a good solid auxiliary battery and it's fairly well charged the day before, the fridge hasn't flattened it overnight, far from it usually. So you would, if you had an SBI12 like on the other vehicle, you could jumpstart your own vehicle. With this one, 2 problems. You can't do that, so you need to fit that device anyway if you want to be able to jumpstart, or you need to carry a positive, a cable probably this size would be bare minimum, might do the job, probably not really big enough if you're going to do it. This is probably, I'll take a guess that this is something like, I don't know, 8 BNS. You want to have something at least 6 or 4 BNS, something like that anyway. I'm not good with the BNS. I just like metric stuff, guys, but I don't know. You know, everybody talks this other lingo, but anyway. You want something like even that, that's the same as that. Look, it'd probably do the job. Depending how flat this battery was, you could just connect a positive from here directly across to here, and because both batteries are earthed, you can see the negative earth there, and you can't see, this one's negative earth as well, but you can't see where it goes. But basically negative's earth, the positive is the only one you would need to connect, and you've got 2 batteries connected to start the vehicle. There's a good chance this battery could go flat, because as I just described, we've got the solar on. On the other vehicle, you can quite easily have it charging 2 batteries, right? Let's just step over to that one just quickly to show you, right? 2 batteries, remember, the SBI12 there, it's connected. So that means, like I said, this is the earth here, the black one, it goes in here onto the body there, and this battery here, the negative, right? This one, that's earth. So the positive, this big cable here, remember what we said for jump starting, hard to show you the size because they've all got corrugated split tubing the way we like it, right? But a short cable, quite big, bang, just there to there. To connect these 2 together, all I need to do is put that on there and they're going to stay connected, and that's what you would do if you're going to jumpstart your own vehicle. See, still charging. My point at the moment is both of these batteries are charging because they're connected. They're both copping 14.6 volts, so you can leave the door open whatever you like, right? And you're not going to have any flat batteries. Now, with this one, let's have a look. Let's see if I can do this single-handed with the old Century battery tester. We're going to try this. Okay, so see on here, we're not going to, we could use leads volts, then I don't have to hold the clips actually, because I had these ready to go, but then I'm going to have to hold it. So what I'll do, is get the clips instead. We'll connect, of course we'll connect the positive on the positive, right, the negative on the negative, and hopefully we've got a reading there that's accurate. There you go, 12.76. Let's just try and take a second opinion. I'll just sit that black one in there, hopefully that works. and the red one should have the same reading. There you go, you got the clips and the leads connected. So this battery is currently on 12.76, right? So what does that tell us? Even though the other battery's copping a charge, and you can see the voltage at the back of the vehicle was 13.7, this battery here is copping no charge whatsoever. So while you're sitting there at camp and you've got your door open, this is what's happening, right? And I'd suggest that's not too bad because it's a good battery. Other batteries are going to go down lower than that, okay? This battery isn't getting charged, it's getting drained. I would always prefer to be able to use this as a jump starter in event of worst case scenario, if you know what I mean, to start this engine. If this one's flat, what I'm trying to say is I want to use this one. Very difficult to do. I've got to carry an extra wire, I've got to fluff around connecting it, whatever. And of course, this charger here, it cost a fair bit more money, and of course the installation's a bit bigger than the other one. Let's go back over to the other one. This REDARC SBI12, cheap, reliable. I can connect that little wire there to that battery, it connects, bada bing, we've got two batteries connected together. Right now both batteries are charging. If I want to make sure that happens, I'll just leave that connected and it's charging both of them, but I prefer not to do that, because if the sun goes behind the cloud, I do want it to disconnect so this one's not getting drained anymore. I'd rather manually come and connect that. If you want to do it the other way around, there's other ways to do things. You could, on this vehicle, of course there's lots of things you can do. People are going to go, oh, you could do this. I know all the things you can do, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is, it's a bit silly, this system, here's the solar input right here, that it doesn't think about this battery whatsoever. I think this system here sucks, really. It should make sure this battery's charged first or also, and then same as when the engine starts, right? This battery's got it, well, so there's a couple of different systems. That's like you've got to connect that ignition wire that goes into the car. Well, you don't, because if you don't, when this battery gets to X, it automatically connects and disconnects, just like a VSR, right? That's what this unit here will do. But that's when the engine's running, right? So the engine, the voltage of this battery comes up to, say, whatever, right? I can't remember, I'm not doing that in this video. Then this then connects, does its magic, and charges this battery over here. And people believe you have to have that and that it does a better job. But then tell me this, why right now is the battery in the back, the voltage in the back of this car, which is this battery here, so you want me to bring the, you want to check it with this, you don't trust that? Okay, we can do that. Let's go. Let's try and get all this untangled. Hang on. So you have to be patient. Look, you know, I've sort of done all this, but I know people, they sort of don't want to believe stuff. You can't just tell people things. You've got to show them what you're doing and what you've done, and, you know, and whatever, you know. They sort of think you came down in the last shower sometimes. So you can see that battery still 12.79. I thought we'd have a look at that while we're at it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold. This isn't going to work. Hang on. I'll try and stick that under there somewhere where it might sit and see if it works. What do we got? We got anything? Yeah, we have, right? So there you go, 12.63, 13.63. Can't even read. There you go. You don't trust me. All right, so they're just kind of sitting there. I'm going to let the red one go. Move the black one a bit. Is that any better? No. So 13.66 is what you got at this end, right? So it's charging away, regulated by the DC DC projector. Beautiful. Without any consideration whatsoever for this battery here. That's what I don't like about it. And then when this battery goes flat, so it's kind of like a double doozy, we'll call it, right? So, hey, guess what? Doesn't matter if this goes flat, if we can manually connect it like we can on the other car, but we can't. So it does matter if it goes flat. So there either needs to be a system where I can press a button or something that makes the two connect together using the existing wiring, right? You know, this wire here, like I said, it's not ideal, but it's probably good enough to get the engine going. If this battery was down a bit, the additional having the two batteries would probably do the job. And if you left them connected a few minutes, one will charge the other, or recover a little bit, and we'll get the ball rolling, right? So I hope you get what I mean. There it is, charging at a lousy 13.63, right? 13.63 only. You know, in your car when you're driving, 13.63, it's not that exciting. You want to see closer to 14, depending what sort of batteries give or take 14, 14.2. That 120 over there, right? That 120, it sees either side of 14. It's got the voltage booster diode. It's got the little diode that goes in the box here, right? Very reliable, been there for years, as it has for many other people. Simple stuff, guys, right? So back over here again, just to show you how accurate, extra information, right? So this rounds it to the nearest 10, 13.7. What was it? 13.63, so maybe it should be 13.6. They're pretty accurate. I've done a few tests with those as well. Right, we've got cloud at the moment, so I'm going to expect to see less. I'm going to expect to see less voltage on this one now, and there it is, 13. But it's still charging, still enough to maintain keeping the two connected. So it's still currently charging the two batteries. So here, I really like this because A, you can look after both your batteries. So if you came to camp, switch your engine off. Generally, the SBI12, right? Voltage sensitive relay will stay connected until this battery drops to around about, I don't know, 12.8 or somewhere around there, which is still good. So therefore it stays connected for an hour or two usually. So if you get your solar panels set up within an hour or two, then they're going to be still charging both batteries without you doing anything. In the event, for whatever reason, this is the thing, right? That disconnects. You got your doors open. For a start, you got a quality Optima. That these are not a deep cycle battery, but I'll tell you what, they're just good. That's my experience. Okay, this one, as I keep saying, they're nearly coming up closer to, what are they? What year is it now? I don't know, 5. It's about 6. Getting closer to 6 years, I think. Better replace them soon because I'm getting a bit nervous. They're too good to be true. But at the end of the day, if this one was to go flat in the morning, all we need to do is connect that red wire. Bang, we've got two batteries here. The size of this wire, the investment in that wire and that is a lot less. And when the sun's out, as you saw already, we're copping around about 14 volts most of the time. And I'm not saying these are the best regulators, by the way. You can probably get something better. I actually like the solar regulator component of that DC-DC charger over there, although it's a bit low at the moment, but there's probably not enough load on the battery. But look, we've got a fridge running. As I said, we've got a fridge running in back at both of these vehicles. So now you can see it's set on 0. To be fair, a few drinks in there and a sneaky Mars bar. Right, there it is. You can see what's in there. Same size fridge roughly. You can see dropping down a little bit, 13.6. Like I said, fairly accurate, right? Let's go and have a look in the back of the other vehicle to see, to be sure. Right, 3.3, but the compressor's running, have a listen. So that cycles up and down, if you know what I mean. So basically set on the same temperature. Doesn't matter what it's set on anyway. I can tell you the drinks in here, this angle, those will be a lot colder than what the ones in the wake are. It's simple as that. I've explained that in another video. And what's the temperature? Right there, see that thing dangling there? The air temperature right there. So you can't get more accurate than that. Bada bing, about the same sort of fridge space, same amount of drinks more or less in there for fair comparisons. That's how we roll. And if you were to watch this, I mean, we just let all the coldness out anyway, but if you were to watch this, you'll find that it will get back to around the 0 mark like the other one. You can see it dropping down even though I had it open. That's a quality angle for you. Anyway, guys, and because the compressor's running, you can see, because the sun's not there. There you go. It's just, sorry, I've got to get in there a little bit for you. How's that? Right, it's hovering between 12.4 and 12.5 because we've got, as I said, cloud. It's barely any sun at the moment. Right, and what you'll find now, because the compressor has cut in, see, it's protecting this main battery here, right? So if you've got a cloudy day, it's not going to keep draining this battery running your fridge. We want to keep that good. And of course the voltage is down, see that? It's down to 12.4 basically, same as what it said at the back. The fridge is pulling around about, 0.5, 0.6 when it's running. The angles really do pull hard because they work well. So there you go. If I wanted to connect that for whatever reason, I can just touch it on there like that. As soon as I take it off again, it's going to disconnect because of the load. If I want it to stay connected, then I'll just clip it on right? For example, clip that on there like that, and it stays there. I can go start the car, okay? It's just a sensing wire, guys. So some people run a long wire into the car and complicate things, and then you've got to push the button and all sorts of things, where when you're at camp, you know, you've driven for the day, you're out in the outback touring, whatever, and you pop your bonnet to let the heat out. And to do, you know, if you're doing big Ks, you know, on corrugations in the outback, you need to come and do your afternoon checks or your morning checks before you go. So you've got your bonnet up there to let it all cool down, to let the heat out, which is good, and to have a play with all your things and check your batteries and security of everything. Yeah, nothing moving there, is there, funnily enough? Right. Anyway, guys, it's a bit cloudy here, so not too much charge going on there. Let's, for argument's sake, go and have a look at this other one, okay? Let's see what this one does, okay? This is going off, okay, on. Okay, enter, come on, multimeter, enter. Okay, they're all still sitting in the right place. For whatever reason, this one's still getting that voltage, right? Now, that's what I said about liking, hang on a minute, the sun's come out as well. We'll go back to the other one in a sec, but that's what I said about liking. I like this as a solar regulator, okay? So really, if you got the money and you want the best of both worlds, I kind of like that. You know what I like best about this? The Kaon bracket that it's mounted on. Kaon.com.au, K-A-O-N, right? Awesome stuff, Australian made, sits under there nice and neat, rock solid. It's up the front here where it can get plenty of air cooling because they do get hot. And of course, for me, you can run your solar connector wherever you want. This one here, as I said in other videos, we can stick it through the front of the grill here and connect it there more permanently with the bonnet closed if we wanted to, or you could run it anywhere on the vehicle you want. Just trying to show you a few different pros and cons. See what I mean? Certainly not looking after that battery, is it? All right. I reckon the reason it's on 12.8, that interior light probably timed out. Let's go and have a look, because that's probably what'll happen. Yeah, he's on the money again, mate. Look at that, no interior light on. If we put the interior light on by opening the door, and then you come and have a look at this, you'll see it slowly dropping down. Look, interior light, can you believe how low it's going? 12.67 already, guys. 12.66. Believe me when I tell you, interior lights will flatten this battery on you. Luckily, there's safeguards there. The vehicle timed out the interior light, I think, or did I shut the back door? Was the back door open? We better go and have a look. Let's get our facts straight. No, it obviously times out, which is a good thing. All right, this backlight's on now, but right, the door's still open, so it must just time out, which is good because you don't want flat batteries. What else can I throw in this one for you, mate? There's a whole heap of info. Hopefully you got some info out of that and what's possible. Did I just explain? Obviously, it's quite possible that you can run one set of solar panels to two cars, even though one's got a DC charger. So this plug's going direct to that from the solar panels with no other regulator, and it splits off from the solar panels and goes to the other vehicle here. And this one hasn't got a regulator, so we're just using one of the cheap regulators that came with it. There it is, the sun's out, 14.7. Again, we said we'd go back there. So anyway, guys, hope that really explains you know, the pros and cons and a few of the different options available. The batteries you see in the picture, the batteries we like. I mean, the battery in the other vehicle, it's a fairly new vehicle, so we've left that there. When it's approximately 2 to 3 years old, we'll see how it's going. We will probably replace it with something like one of these. These have been beaten and bashed around on corrugated tracks for years. We do give our batteries a hard time, particularly this one, because that's what it's built for. But we also look after it and keep it on charge. That's why you may be able to see, let me see, no, you can't see anything, all the charging systems at the back. But we do like to keep them charged and maintained. Particularly these batteries are not made, they're a higher CCA, 880, right? But they're lower reserve capacity, right? They're not there for deep cycle. Deep cycle will wreck a battery like this, like many batteries. The best way to look after batteries is keep them full. Anyway, guys, I reckon that's long enough. 24 minutes, chit chat, chitty chat, chit chat. So if you got something out of that, please give us a thumbs up now. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn that bell on, and so you don't miss the next important bit of touring and 4x4 information coming your way. Thanks for watching. See ya.